Thanks for joining us for Mind Matters Holiday Edition. You know, Christmas can be a beautiful time of year, but for those who are grieving, it can be a time of heartbreak. You know, the empty chair, the tradition that feels broken and so sad. Grief is something very hard to walk through during the holidays. So join us today as we have a conversation and talk openly about how to carry our grief through Christmas.
Thank you guys for joining us today. We're hopefully going to be able to talk about some grief surrounding the holidays. And you guys will be able to share some stories to hopefully help people navigate that grief during the holidays, because we know it can be tough. So thank you guys for being here today. But before we get started, if you guys want to go around and introduce yourselves, that'd be great.
Yeah, I am Chad Taylor. This is my wife, Kim. We have a grief story together.
Yeah, we lost our daughter, Sarah, in 2020. She passed away when she was 15 from cancer. And then also your dad.
Yeah.
Our grandparents. Yeah, so.
I'm Shayla Holtkamp, and I lost my daughter in 1998 from meningococcal meningitis. Mm-hmm. And I've also lost my twin sister and my brother, my siblings, and my father, too. So,
yeah. Well, thank you guys for sharing that, and thanks for being here today. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first question I kind of have is, have you guys ever kind of looked at all the lights and the decorations and the celebrations and thought, why don't I feel the joy that everybody else seems to be feeling? Can you guys kind of walk us through kind of what you feel in that moment?
Absolutely. I think the first year, because Sarah died in September, I've always, before that point, I loved decorating for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And it was like I just couldn't. And until I finally did for my youngest daughter, but I still did not do everything that I normally would have done. Mm-hmm. And it was impossible for me to even think about opening the box that had all of their little handmade ornaments and things that she had made. And we host a lot of events at our house at Christmas. Sure. So we had to make some adjustments for that. And that was actually COVID year too. So that made it a little easier for us to not have to do all of that. But it kind of catches you off guard at times, like at how hard it actually is to be with people. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
there are things that trigger grief when you're at the holidays that are different than a normal day. Mm-hmm. It makes it difficult. You're getting together with family that you haven't seen, or we are, for a while, and they're usually big family get-togethers for us. So
it's amazing how you can be in a house full of 40 people, and the absence of one person is so heavy that it just breaks your heart. You can hardly breathe, But it's just, she's supposed to be here, that's what you feel in those moments. It's hard.
So Jolie died in May. So, it was until November and Christmas. And I'm the one that I really like Christmas, and I get excited. And I couldn't at all. I wasn't excited about Christmas at all. In fact, I couldn't put up a tree. So I can't put up a tree. I can't put up decorations. And it was really sweet because what my husband did, he went and bought a decorated tree about this big, and he set it out. And I thought that was so kind, so that we would have something. But I couldn't do it because it wasn't Christmas. Without her, without your whole family, without your children especially, that you take so much joy in watching them open gifts and be so excited. And that was part of it, and buying gifts for them. And so it was really difficult, really difficult. Now though, so many years later, and I have grandchildren, and the excitement's there again.
Yeah.
And it did come back. It did. So there's always hope for that too.
Yeah. And I mean, we're to a point now where I look forward to getting out those little pieces of her, the little handmade school picture ornaments and things. And just holding that space now for her to be a part of our Christmas. Whereas the first year I just couldn't. It was hard. So
I was going to ask you how many years it was before you got that out. Do you
it was
remember?
the second Christmas. And then when I did, that was the peacock story.
Yeah.
Because when Sarah was, before she passed away, she was having, like, we think they were visions of heaven. She was talking about seeing colorful things. And one of the things that she kept talking about was seeing peacocks. And so after that, the peacock feather became really kind of, a symbol to us. And I always let them purchase a new ornament or pick something out. And I had completely forgotten that the year before, her last Christmas, she had purchased a peacock ornament. And I went to open that ornament box. And when I did, there was actually a real peacock feather laying there separately, and then the peacock ornament.
Wow.
And it just gave me chills, I was like, oh my goodness, I had forgotten that that's what she had chosen, So it's little things like that, that just kind of connect us to heaven, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
At that time too, right after she died, I didn't know if I could do anything that I had done before again, just anything, just in general in my life, let alone celebrate Christmas or Thanksgiving. Which is a hard feeling when you are someone who gets excited about things and who likes what they're doing, and then to not have that anymore. So
yeah.
I hear you guys both talk about traditions and old traditions versus new traditions. Can you guys maybe speak to what that kind of evolved to over the years? Did you still keep those old traditions alive, or did you kind of find ways to create new traditions, or how did traditions play a role in your grief?
Yeah, the first year, definitely we did completely different. And even that, your dad had just passed away too. So with my mother-in-law, his mom, she had been putting off having a knee replacement surgery. And we had decided, or kind of helped her decide, maybe this is a good time for you to do that and just come stay with us while you recuperate so that you're not at home alone over the holidays. So she was with us, which made it feel different.
Yeah.
And, it was a good, we had her kind of schedule for rehabilitation to do. So we totally kind of had a different year that year. And then
It was a great distraction.
It was. And it was a good Christmas still, even though, we cried and we grieved together. And I'm telling you, I don't think there's a Hallmark movie that doesn't have cancer in it or someone that dies. It feels like it was so hard to watch those Christmas Hallmark movies that year. But, the second year, it was really surprising to me that Libby, our youngest daughter, started kind of asking for the traditions and leading the way in some of those things, which made me want to do those things again for her when I saw, because, I just didn't know how she felt about it.
Yeah.
So that's been encouraging and definitely helps motivate me to do some things. But yeah, so I don't know. Is there something?
No, I think that's very true. All right stuff. But I think as time goes on, it's a little easier, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
You still have moments.
Yes.
Sure.
And they can really, you don't always know when they're going to hit you. That's the part that's, but the holidays can be harder because there are times when you spend a lot of time together just doing things as a family, and it's there's somebody not there doing it with you, and it hurts.
So when our Christmas after Jolie died, I had been divorced, so things had changed around for us anyway, and remarried. So we kind of changed some traditions then. And we would go to my mother-in-law, who had just lost my father-in-law right before Jolie died. In fact, he died on Jolie's birthday the year before. And so there were just changes with that. And what was really wonderful is that I had probably the greatest mother-in-law anybody could ever have. And she recognized the pain that I might be feeling. And she made an ornament of Jolie's picture and put it on the tree. And I remember going in, even after years, it makes me cry when I think about it. But I remember going in to spend just a couple of minutes with my son, her biological brother, and went back into the bedroom to just cry and just let it out, just cry. Because you have to do that. You have to allow yourself that. And I remember her walking in the room with a roll of paper towels. And she said, Kleenex aren't good enough. But what she did, because she knew how painful that year was, she took us all to Grand Cayman.
Oh, wow.
The whole family,
Completely
we left.
changed it
The
up.
day after Christmas, we left and went to Grand Cayman.
Yeah.
So that was a nice, very nice distraction
Change of pace.
from someone who knew. And especially for her, she always said she couldn't imagine losing a child.
Yeah. And I think the thing too is no one person is going to grieve it the same, right? And giving yourself permission to feel how you're going to feel in that moment, whether you need to cry, whether you need to laugh, whether you need to get away, whether you need to keep those traditions alive, giving you the space to do whatever feels right for you in that moment.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Have you guys ever had a Christmas or a holiday, Thanksgiving, that has felt more heavy than happy?
I think that first one for the
Yeah.
first one.
Definitely the first one. But year number 2, I feel like Thanksgiving hit really hard. So it was like the first year it didn't, maybe because of COVID or something, but Thanksgiving, that one caught me off guard. It was really emotional at Thanksgiving, but really there's like all the holidays are just,
They're just hard.
they're just hard. They are really hard.
Because there's always going to be that one person, probably like your nucleus, that most important person who's not going to be there. And I just allow myself to just be sad. And I love it when people will talk about her and will say things about her. My husband's family's a little bit not quite there with that. They like to, and so that's kind of hard. But then I have, like I call my people too, that we have a group that we've all lost children, and we call ourselves Wings for the Journey. And one of them would have a Christmas lunch for us. And we'd all go and have lunch together, and we'd make an ornament with their names on them. So we always thought that was our Christmas, because everybody there knew the pain, right? And so doing something like that, I thought was really
there's definitely
recognizing that.
there's such a connection amongst people who are grieving, and I just don't think anyone should ever try to grieve alone. You just need someone else that can sit with you in that pain. And, it's not going to be exactly the same, but to know that someone has walked the path and survived, I guess, just gives you hope, So,
There's times in those when I feel guilty about whether I should do, and it can be either way, whether a new tradition, do we start a new tradition, or do we do the old ones? And it's when grief is hitting me, I can be in either place. And I don't want to do that because of this, or I want to do that. Oh no, I don't want to, it's just,
it's very complex. It really is. Yeah.
when grandchildren come along. That
changes it.
Changes it a little bit.
it does, because you want to do, there is an excitement that can come with that.
Yeah.
And you want to bring some things back alive, leaving the cookie out, just that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That you want to revisit and redo.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys kind of talked about having people surrounding you and sitting with you and during that grief. And I know for other people who might not be able to necessarily relate to you guys about what you might be going through, they might be struggling with what to say to you guys or what to do in that moment to kind of help support you. From your guys' perspective, do you have anything that was very helpful for you that others did? Or
I can tell you some things that were unhelpful.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
When people, people say some really, I'm just going to say it, stupid things, and you just have to, I've learned now just to have grace with them.
Sure.
They just don't know what to say. So they just say
something.
Or when they, just kind of sugarcoat it, spiritual platitudes, or heaven must have needed her, or, like those things do not help. Yeah. There's been,
She's in a better place.
oh, yeah.
Things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know she's in a better place, but you know what? This place was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And she's she was happy here. She was happy here too. So
Yeah.
some of those things people
they don't really
know.
help at all. Those things don't help. But I think like what you said about just people that aren't afraid to speak their name and talk about them is so refreshing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I know I do that. Sometimes I will purposely, if I can tell a person is a little uncomfortable around me, I will purposely say something about Sarah, bring her up, or just casually talk about something she liked or whatever, just to show them, hey, you have permission, to bring her name up, to talk about her. Like
we want you to do
yes,
that.
please. It
Please
is a
do that.
gift to a grieving person to talk about the person they're missing, because then that opens up conversation. When you don't mention that person's name that they're grieving, it just makes them feel like you don't see their pain, you don't see that struggle, and that you don't miss that person, even if you don't miss them in the same way. Just be kind enough to.
I think that one of the big things is you're afraid they'll be forgotten. So when somebody comes up and they tell you, Jolie used to do, and it was like I was getting another story that I didn't have. I was getting another memory. And for some reason, young people, her friends, could do it better than adults.
Yeah.
Because they would tell me a story. They would come and they'd say her name, and they'd bring books where they'd written stories about her. And adults, the grocery store thing, they tend to want to pretend you're not there and not
look the other way.
Yes.
look the other way.
Yeah.
Look the other way.
Yeah.
So it's especially, I think, around Christmas time too,
Mm-hmm.
when it's even more feels. You think about them even more, to have people just even say things like, I can remember my mother-in-law's and their friends too, and we got a card. I came into the house. I had been over in Bloomington. I came in the house and there's this card, and my husband had opened it, and in the card it said, there's another angel to sit at the feet of baby Jesus, Jolie's with Jesus. And I remember reading that and thinking, what a kind thing to mention her name and say that. And I know it affected my husband too, because I went in the other room and he had been crying.
Yeah.
So
to know that she was remembered.
Just having them be remembered, and or for somebody just to say, I know this has to be a hard time of year. And I remember Sarah and I think about her. How comforting, how healing that is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You mentioned the grocery store, and the grocery store is such a complex place, but even like it's normal as a grieving person to find yourself buying the things that they would like at the holidays, or making the treat that they would want to eat, or even buying them a Christmas present. Those things are normal.
Yeah.
I know some people are like, should I be doing that? Should I not? It's actually it's sort of therapeutic in a way. But, and then over time, you learn to redirect that, and you share, you're generous with somebody else in honor of them. And it can become a way to still give to the person that you want to honor, but also help other people, or, so just felt like compelled to mention that, because,
I think also, like you just said, to actually, instead of buying, like you would buy presents, instead donating money to a cause that maybe would have been something she would have liked, or just for the Fireman's Chair Fund, just
Mhm.
giving choice, that sort of
Yeah.
thing, and doing that in her memory. And that to me is uplifting. That feels good. That's just
Yeah.
feel good stuff. At
Yeah. Yeah. It's a beautiful tribute.
yeah.
And it takes the focus off of kind of our own,
Mhm.
pain and it's about, loving someone else in their honor. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's helpful.
Yeah.
Something that someone said to me, I was watching a sermon and that really was enlightening, that we say often now, that helped us deal with it, was, if you can give up the right to know why,
Mm.
you can get the peace that surpasses understanding.
Mm.
And I don't know, it was, I don't know that exact timing of it, but that was really a good one for me in my relationship with God.
Mhm.
Because in the why,
Mhm.
because that's a big question you ask when you're,
Absolutely.
it's
When
a
you're
close
grieving.
loved one.
Mhm.
It's the why is the answer that we want to know. And the why answer is not here.
Mhm.
It's not on earth.
Mhm.
It is, I think it will be in heaven,
Mhm.
but we knew that God was a good, loving God.
Mhm.
So why?
Mhm.
And I wallowed in the why.
Mhm.
And as I done that, my relationship with God deteriorated.
Mm.
And I'm like, I have to quit this. And when I was able to do that, it changed how I could have peace and how I could have that relationship with God, where I could get back to the things of just being with God and that
Yeah.
type of stuff.
Because in essence, you're saying, I trust you, God. When you can give up that struggle to find out why, it's like, okay, you are good and I can trust you. And I do trust you with this decision, So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had just finished having treatment for cancer.
Mm.
I had just finished breast cancer treatment. I had chemotherapy and radiation, and it was 6 weeks later that she died suddenly.
Mm.
But I've shared this story with you too, but she did have a vision of heaven before we even knew how sick she was, and told me she took things up with her. And when I asked her, where, to your bedroom, she says, no, up to heaven. And that was before we even knew how ill she was.
Mhm.
And so I feel like I never got angry with God, because he gave me that.
Mm.
He gave me that gift of, she was peaceful. She saw heaven. And I'm thinking, wow, that is such a blessing.
Mhm.
I felt blessed because of that. So I never got mad. I still, I didn't ask why as much. And I think that's because of that.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's a gift.
Mhm. So what kind of maybe helps you guys feel connected when you guys, maybe that loneliness creeps in, or those questions or those doubts? Kind of what helps you feel connected in those moments during the holidays?
I think just having other people that that are grieving too, definitely having a community connects me. And as far as, with family, is being able to acknowledge, I'm struggling right now, I'm having a bad day, or just being honest, and it seems like for us, our bad days have never hit at the same time, which has been a blessing. But then just having a little extra grace for one another when we know we're kind of struggling, giving ourselves permission to maybe not do all the normal things, every year.
You definitely learn to give grace to people if you've experienced it. Because because you know the experience that they're going through, but you're like, okay, just slow down.
Yeah.
Because they need that right now,
They just need loved.
Yeah, they just need cared for and time and, just a little bit of space maybe, or maybe they need someone to come alongside them. It just depends on who it is and the situation.
Kind of take that pressure away.
Yeah.
I think for me with connectedness too is that I felt most connected to people who had shared the same loss
Oh, yeah.
that I had. And I remember talking to people that had lost a child. Not that losing my sister and that was all, but it wasn't as profound as losing my daughter. But I needed to be with people that I could see. I wanted to see hope. I wanted to see that I could feel happy again. I wanted that one person that I could see was doing okay. And usually through somebody who'd lost a child also. The difficult thing, though, is I was not finding that right away. I was not finding that hope that people would say, it's terrible. It's always going to be, you're never going to be the same. It's always going to be. And so finally, I started going back and forth to Bloomington, and I started talking to God in my car. And he gave me some things too. And it's like, you're going to have to be that person. You're going to have to be that person.
It's amazing. Yeah.
To give other people hope that, yes, you can go and find joy in your life again and be happy again. But at first it was just connection to people that knew that deep maternal pain.
And I think, going to God with our grief, ultimately, he's the one that we should be pouring those, venting to, and our pain and anguish. He's so near to the brokenhearted. It's just sometimes we don't see how close he is, but he is right there over our shoulder, ready to comfort us. And I don't know what year it was, but there was a shift with Christmas where, for me, the whole hope that Christmas brings became even more impactful, because it was like, oh my gosh, Jesus did this so that I don't have to grieve forever, because I'm going to be with Sarah again because of Christmas, So then, worship at Christmas time became like extra, important and empowered. And but that takes some time and just working through all those feelings. And
there's more meaning in it now, I think.
Yeah.
Not that there wasn't before, but there is. It's just.
Yeah. Christmas and Easter. They are
the.
Yeah.
Those are our hope.
Those are the days where I just, tell the enemy to sit down, shut up, and watch me praise my Jesus, because he gave me his birth and his death so that I can defeat death someday too, thankful.
And I have to say, though, too, the thing that I loved just in the little time that I knew about Sarah was her worshiping him through music, even in the toughest times, that she was doing that. She was doing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm sure did the same thing.
Very much so. And there was always worship music playing in the end. In the last
that was her comfort.
few months, it was like 24/7.
And I'm
all
pretty
the
sure
time.
she's
She
still
was just-
worshiping right now. Yeah.
Did Sarah have a favorite worship song?
All of them.
All of them. She didn't have favorite.
She had a few
She had a few.
that she really liked.
I still have Sarah's playlist worship songs that I listen to. But yeah.
Any last thoughts or advice that you would give to someone who might be experiencing grief for the first time around the holidays? Any last thoughts that you would give them?
I think one thing that I like to tell people is it won't always hurt this bad.
Yeah.
It just, you think you're never going to come out of it. You're never going to be happy again. You're never going to feel joy again, but you will. And when you do, your loved one is going to celebrate, because there's nothing they want more than that. Is for you. They know our time all is limited.
Yeah.
They're there with Jesus.
Yeah.
They're seeing how it is. And it's like, you're going to be here, but make the most of this world.
Yes.
And
and when you're grieving, your grief mind tends to think, if I stop feeling sad, if I stop grieving, it's like I've moved on from my person, and like you feel guilt. You're like, no, I have to stay. This is how I'm showing that I love them. But that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
It changes. The season changes. And then you realize I can show them that I love them by living my life and, enjoying this space and these people and the community that I have, and because that's what they want, you know.
Yeah.
I felt that way too. Sometimes you see them, the longer you grieve, the more you loved. To me, it's not that way. It's just not that way, because when you love them and you know where they are and you know they're in joy and peace, you're happy for them.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that they want you to make the best of this world. And I remember some thoughts that came into my head, and I've shared these with you too, and my silent drives to Bloomington. And one of them, it was, what if I had died before Jolie? How would I want her to live her life?
Yeah.
And I think I'd want her to be really happy and make purpose.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's what I have to do.
Yeah.
I have to honor her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we don't want to sweep, the sad feelings under the
Right.
rug, but we need to make space for the moments of joy, because it's always going to be both after you've lost someone.
Yeah.
It's always going to be both. There's space for both.
Well, I can sit here and ready to cry after 27 years.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm not feeling joy, because you do have your times that you think I'm sad and I miss her.
Mm-hmm.
I miss her. But there is a time for grieving, and you do need to go through it, because if you don't, you're going to eventually anyway,
Mm-hmm.
in one way or another. But I think too, for me, being, people don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. And I always tell people, just be a presence. Just be a presence in the dark night of the soul,
Mm-hmm.
because there's nothing necessarily that you're going to say. There's nothing that you're going to do. It's being a presence and just being there.
Yeah. Just being with people when
Being
they're
there.
in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything.
No.
Yeah.
Just being there can show them that you love them and that you care right where they're at.
And you respect their
Yeah.
grief. You respect their sadness. You respect it and honor them with that.
Yeah.
And
That's good.
as humans, we want to say something.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
And
wanna fix
there's
it.
times when we need not to say anything.
Right, yeah.
Shove
We're
those
not gonna
words back
fix it.
down. Yep.
Right.
Got to keep the conversation going.
Yeah,
Like there's
right.
a lull. We gotta keep it going.
Yep. Silence is hard. People don't like that silent moment, but there's
Yeah.
power in the silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
Well, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time today to come have a conversation about grief around the holidays. And
I think, Chad, will you pray us out?
Yeah,
In the end here?
I
Yeah.
can do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's pray. God, I thank you for this time where we can share and just visit and care for each other in grief. Lord, I pray that you bless the holidays for people, there are going to be people who are grieving for the loss of their children, for the loss of family members, for the loss of things that they don't even know they're going to grieve. Lord, I pray that you be with them, that you show them your love during this time, that you care for their heart, and just I thank you for Christmas as it is part of you conquering death and Jesus' birthday, and just thank you for what that means and how it changes grief. Lord, I pray that people will realize that and just hold on to that. Lord, we love you and thank you for loving us. And in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
amen.